In this video, I'm going to walk you through my budget reflections and lessons. This isn't going to be the video where I go through my expenses. I'll do that one after November is over. But I wanted to talk to you about some things that I've learned in the course of my retirement. I know that a lot of you have commented that maybe I'm semi-retired. That is correct. I do substitute teach a couple of days a week, so I do have a little bit of income coming in. But in September, I decided to mentally stop looking for jobs and live on my retirement pension. But again, I am getting a little bit from substitute teaching. I have received a lot of positive and not so positive feedback on my budget videos, but I want to be open and honest as a 50-something single female that's retired or has been able to semi-retire, what finances look like and budgeting, and make it more humanizing than investment videos and financial planner videos. I am going to talk with a financial planner and ask them the questions that you guys have, but I want to talk about the realities of budgeting and what it's really been like for me the last 3 months, and I hope this is beneficial. According to my statistics, 85% of you are not subscribed to this channel. If this has been helpful, maybe you've just tripped upon my channel, but if you would like and subscribe, and of course comment, the good and the bad have been helpful for me when it comes to budgeting, and everybody has a pretty strong opinion about it. It's been almost 3 months since I started this journey, and I have learned a lot. I'm no longer panicking about surprise expenses when they came up, and everything isn't the end of the world. The dentist bill that I got, I know taxes are coming. I'm not freaking out as much as I used to. And I have 9 things that I've been doing or some reflections that might help you understand where I'm coming from. And maybe these things will help you in budgeting for or during your retirement stage. First, I highly recommend a no spend month. I did a no spend September, and I've talked about that in other videos, and that taught me so much about where my money was going that was unnecessary. I've significantly reduced the amount of Amazon packages, going and shopping for makeup or whatever I see, but I highly recommend a no spend month. I'm going to do that again probably in January, February, but just that 1 month has changed my spending so much. Next is tracking everything and tracking my expenses and tracking where every dime is going. And I've been doing that probably for 6 months now, and I keep going back and rewriting and doing it again just to see where my money is going or has gone. So in combination with the no spend September and tracking everything, that has also been very eye-opening. Yes, I should have been doing this stuff all along, but keep in mind, I was just surviving while I was working. I was working a stressful job, many hours a day. I was hardly ever off, and I own those things, and I could have been doing this back then. So now that I am doing it, I recommend it, and it has really been freeing to see where my money is going and not questioning. I always knew when to stop. Like, I wasn't an overspender, like spend past my paycheck. I don't have any credit card debt right now. I did, but I haven't had credit card debt for over a year. I'm not using credit cards because when I was overspending, I was using credit cards at the time. It's been really tempting lately as the holidays are coming up, but I have not been using credit cards. To go along with the tracking, I've been writing everything down. I just opened my banking app in my phone and I rewrite the month. And I've done that over and over again, mostly because I keep losing it. I need to get organized better in my digital planner or paper notebook or whatever to be able to find where I write this stuff down. But every month, a couple of times, I just start writing it down, and then I see it over and over and over again. And just the act of writing with pencil and paper or pen and paper, I've been watching some videos on the research that the benefits of actually writing it down and not typing it out. So I have my expenses tracked in a variety of places all the time, but I'm working on getting all of this in one location that I can find all the time. Writing this stuff down has helped me categorize everything. I've been watching a ton of budget videos and gone through Pinterest and all the budget blogs, and writing it down helps me figure out my categories. I was trying to follow someone else's budget plan this whole time, and it doesn't fit with me. So I've stopped trying to follow somebody else's and just write things down and categorize mine. And then I'm probably gonna plug it into some other programs maybe I've been watching or learning from online. I would link stuff, but the other day I probably watched 20 budget videos, or I clicked on 20 different Pinterest blogs. And that's just the best way I can consume that information right now. Eventually, it just takes time for me. I just trial and error. And I've been at peace with trial and error lately. Why I put this online to hear what people say about how I do it is beyond me. It's helpful because you guys give me some really good ideas, but some of y'all are like darn crazy in the comments. Budgeting worksheets. On those videos and Pinterest, I have come across a ton of budgeting worksheets. I've downloaded a lot of them, only the free ones. I haven't bought a budgeting planner or a budgeting journal yet. I kind of want to create my own to go along with the retirement planning journal that I'm working on. What would be a really good planner, or what kind of worksheets would you put in? But I've downloaded a bunch of budget worksheets and trackers and the envelopes. I'm not going to do the envelope, the cash envelope system. I've not ever done that, so I don't think I'm going to start doing that now. But I've downloaded a bunch of that and tried a bunch of that over the last couple of months. I'm just trying to narrow it down to what works for me. My next one actually was to talk about developing my own budget planner or my own budget system. I don't think it's going to be digital. It might be digital as in a written notebook on my planner, but it's not going to be digital as in I type it up in Excel spreadsheets and things like that, because I don't tend to follow that as well, or I can't find it as much as if I just put a notebook here on the counter and I just go through that notebook. But I am trying to develop my own. So in the comments, what would you put in a budget planner or tracker or expense tracker? What types of things would you be looking for, or have you seen in others that you would like in something that you would use? The one that I am the most excited about, the lesson or reflection, is I learned about sinking funds, and I applied for I think it's Ally, it's like a purple app with an A, a high yield savings account, and I transferred money into that savings account, and that app allows you to put things in buckets. So I have my sinking funds in buckets right now in that savings account. That is a huge step for me. I have savings, but it's just kind of lumped over here. And this is going to put things in different buckets that I've wanted. Like right now for Christmas, and some taxes and things like that, I don't have sinking funds created for this year. But this time next year, I will be able to have property taxes in a sinking fund, Christmas presents and shopping in a sinking fund, and I'll be able to use all of that next year. And by saying it on here, I'll have to do a video in a year and refer back to this one and show you guys that I did it. But that has been a celebration for me and something that I'm proud of for myself that I kind of figured out on my own. I had a few people explain sinking funds in the comments, and I think I watched 5 videos on that. Now I finally understand it. Like I said, I just have trial and error. Calendaring, I think this is number 8, but I've been writing down the dates that all of my bills are due. Usually I get paid I've always gotten paid once a month. So I know they're all going to come out within that month. I just don't have the dates. Well, now that I get a paycheck, a small paycheck each week for substitute teaching, then I'm trying to figure out how much I use from my substitute teaching towards my bills or extras. So right now I have a list of my bills and I'm writing the dates out beside the bills this month. And then I'm going to transfer that to a monthly calendar, a big picture calendar so that I know when they come out. And then I'm going to start writing in my substitute checks or any of the supplemental income checks that I have to see where that is. Again, it's just going to take me a while to figure out some of these things. Before I talk about what I am working on right now or my focus is in addition to these things, because that's a lot, but some things that I'm working on next or in this time period, I'm going to share those after I share number 9, which number 9 is this is going to take time. I've watched a bunch of videos and they don't talk about the time that it takes to do these things. They talk about how you should have $1,000 in savings, which I think that that's like old school. I think it should be like $3,000 or more at this point, or you should have an emergency fund that has all of your expenses for the month. Well, you're obviously not going to do that in a couple of months, and I think people quit when they watch those videos and people say, okay, put $100 away until, or they just tell you you need to save $1,000, but they don't map it out. And one of the videos I watched, this lady was so good and she mapped all of it out. She had this spreadsheet. It was way too complicated for me, but it helped me to understand the sinking funds and how to save and how to do this. And she also talked about people giving up because it takes longer than you realize. You get really excited at the beginning of a new year or at the end of the year, or the holidays derail everybody. It's just going to take time. And I feel like I am at a place where I'm okay with that. Sacrificing isn't as hard since I'm not in the working world as often as I was. So that was my number 9. Number 9 is giving myself grace and allowing this to take a lot of time. What I am working on right now, a lot of it deals with subscriptions and canceling subscriptions. Back when I got divorced years ago, I had to cancel a ton of extra things, and I started doing that again when I retired 2 years or a year and a half ago, and I'm still working on that. Sometimes I can't figure out where something is coming from, and I realized this past month that it's tied into my cell phone bill. Like, you get benefits with your cell phone bill, and then after 6 months you start paying on it, and I couldn't figure out why my cell phone bill kept getting bigger, or it just seemed like more than it should have been. And then I realized there were like 3 monthly subscriptions coming out through Verizon that I thought I had canceled everything through my apps, but I didn't realize that it was coming through my Verizon bills. I'm working on that. I'm shopping around for car insurance and homeowners insurance. I would guess everybody's having issues with the skyrocketing rise in insurance prices right now. I think people have mentioned that under new leadership in the country, things might get better. I don't know. I just will wait and see how that is. But I would like to shop around for insurance. One of the Facebook groups that I was in, someone asked that question, who do you get your insurance from? And a lot of people were saying Progressive. So I'm going to look up Progressive. This isn't an ad for that. And I think I did like an online application or something for Geico, which of course now I get 40,000 emails from all of this stuff, but I do want to decrease the cost of insurance. And then my kids are finally, all of their insurance, dental and vision, will go on their dad's insurance. It's always supposed to have been that way, and I don't even know why it's like this, but we went ahead and their stuff is now on his account. In closing, I was just trying to survive, and I didn't realize that. And you may not realize that until you are retired or out of a working environment or whatever your situation is. I did not realize what I was letting go of or what I was not focused on when I was working. And I've actually enjoyed this journey, even though it sounds crazy to some people. It's been super peaceful. And my disclaimer in this video is that this is a work in progress for me, and I don't think a lot of people talk about these things because of money, shame, and embarrassment or guilt. of how much they have or they don't have. And in my next video that I do about like my actual budget, I'm going to break it down a little bit better. Some people told me what would be a really good way to see my budget. So I'm going to break it down a little bit better in my video that I do about budgeting after the month of November.